Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. La ilaha illallah. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله والسلام عليه تسليما كثيرا أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله وخير الهدى هدى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. After this, we've heard many times during the last few days that these are the best days to Allah Azza wa Jalla that we could do any deeds that are righteous deeds. These days, those deeds are more beloved to Allah Azza wa Jalla. To read the Quran, to make istighfar, to give da'wah to Allah, to cook for your family, to wear hijab, to make a ghusl, wudu. Allah loves these actions during these days. So they're the best days of our lives, the best day of the year, these days. Coupled with the fact that today, Friday, is the best day of the week. So it's good upon good. خير يوم طلعت فيه الشمس يوم الجمعة. The best day that the sun ever came out is on the Friday. So during the course of the 7 days, this is the best day of the week. In addition to that, we were informed in the authentic hadith, إن أحب البلاد إلى الله مساجدها وأبغض البلاد إلى الله أسواقها. The most beloved places to Allah, the places that Allah loves the most, not Disney World, not your house, not my house, not the park, not the zoo, not your mother's house. The place that Allah loves more than any other place on the face of the earth are the masjids. And the places that He hates the most are the marketplaces. And that's because the masjid is the place where people come and they're better people. We remember and we're reminded why we were created, what this is all about, this journey. Whereas in the marketplace, that place makes people forget what the reality is, why we're here. There's a lot of munkarat, evil things going on in the marketplace. People are lying, cheating, stealing, freely mixing. All kind of issues are going on. So this is the best 10 days, the best day overall, and we are in the best place. And all of that culminates with the fifth pillar of Al-Islam, and that is the Hajj, where the Muslims have made their way to the blessed place of Mina. So from the ni'mah of Allah upon this ummah this year is that the Hajj began last Friday, and now we get another Friday. 2 Fridays in the 10 days is a ni'mah, an opportunity. Today is known as Yawm al-Tarwiyah, the 8th day of Al-Hajj. It's more appropriate for us to know this day than it is to know and memorize Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. All of those days have shirk in it historically, even if we don't know about it. They're names after gods and things that are not from our religion. But we're living in America, man. I'm not telling you not to memorize those days. But what I am emphasizing is the day of a tarwiyah as Muslims. We should know this day. the 8th day of Dhul Hijjah. And this is the day where the pilgrims do the simple issue of just shifting and going to Mina, where they pray Dhuhr and Asr combined, shortened, and they pray Maghrib and Isha. And Isha is shortened. And it's called the day of Tarwiyah because in Jahiliyyah, the people used to prepare water to bring to the pilgrims in Mina. They used to get the water and they would bring it to the pilgrims in Mina. So today, as it relates to Hajj, all it is, and it's a major thing, is people just get to Mina. So for us, being here, it's an important day because it's still within those 10 days. What I want to share with you, brothers and you sisters, today is that in the Hajj of al-Islam, like in Ramadan, there are a lot of lessons. The Hajj is a school, it's a madrasa. It's a place and a situation where there are a lot of lessons. One of the African American Muslims who is a hero of mine with filters. I take the good of what he says and I leave the mistakes and the bad of what he says. But as I'm proud to stand before you as a Muslim here today in this place, on this blessed day, I'm proud of people like this man. And that's Malcolm X, rahmatullahi alayhi, who came out of a group of people, the Nation of al-Islam, they called themselves, and had nothing to do with Islam. And they were extremely racist. He came out of that group and he went and he performed Hajj. And when he was in Mina, in the tent, he was in the tent with all kind of people around him. And in his autobiography, he mentioned from the lessons that he learned is that when he was in Mina, back then, in the late 60s, when he was in Mina and he was in a tent and the lights were cut off, he was around a lot of Muslims who were from Yugoslavia, from Albania. They're white people, but they're Muslims. He said when the people went to sleep and there were no lights, he woke up and he realized everyone was snoring in the same language. Meaning what? No Arab is better than a non-Arab. No white person is better than a non-white person. No woman is better than a man. A man is not better than a woman. A rich person is not better than the poor person. The best of the people is the one who takes his duty seriously as it relates to Allah. That's from the lessons of Hajj. That millions of people are there. And when you get there and you see all of those people, you learn the universality of al-Islam, the brotherhood of al-Islam. But that's not the lesson I want to talk about today. But it is one of the major lessons. And this masjid is just a small version of that situation in Mecca. All you got to do is look around here. Everybody in this masjid, we have diversity in here. The lesson that I want to bring to your attention is the Hajj, from the most important lessons, is that the Hajj shows us the importance of the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It shows us the importance of the Sunnah. And if you are a Muslim who doesn't give great emphasis and consideration to the Sunnah, you're a fake Muslim. I don't say you're not Muslim. Something is wrong with you and your Islam. Something's wrong with you. It's like these Christians and these Jews. They say whatever they want to say and they're liberal to do whatever they want to do and say, and no one can check them. But in al-Islam, if you don't look at the Sunnah correctly, something is wrong with you. It's like going to a psychiatrist or a psychiatrist. And after sitting and talking to you, he says, something's wrong with you. You're crazy. You have bipolar. You're not right. Same thing with al-Islam. If you're just a Muslim and you say what some people say, that we don't need the Sunnah, the Quran is enough, something is wrong with you. If you're a person who, when the Sunnah comes to you, you reject the Sunnah and you take what your mother and your father says, or what Al-Imam Abu Hanifa said, or Al-Imam Malik, or the local sheikh of your masjid, something is wrong with you. And that's indicative of the Hajj, a clear message. The Prophet came out to the people after being in Mecca for 13 years. You got to get your head around this. You have to envision this. 13 years he was in Mecca. He didn't call to Hajj. The non-Muslims of Quraysh were performing Hajj, and he would just go there and give da'wah. That's all he would do. And then he migrated. After 13 years, he was in Medina. And then in Medina, he started building a community. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th year. He said, Inna Allah kataba alaykum al-Hajj. Allah has made Hajj obligatory upon you. So make Hajj. So he let the people know, we're going to make Hajj this year. After 10 years in Al-Medina, his first and only Hajj. A man said, Ya Rasulullah, do we have to make Hajj every year? He remained silent. The man said, do we have to do it every year? He remained silent. Do we have to do it every year? He remained silent. And then he said to the man, Dharuni ma taraktukum. If I leave you, leave me. Did I say you have to do it every year? He said, the worst person from amongst you is the one who asks about something that's not wajib, and then it becomes wajib upon you. If I told you you have to make Hajj every year, you wouldn't be able to do it, he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So from the lessons of al-Hajj is the ease of al-Islam. In many ways, this is just one of them, that the vast majority of us have not made Hajj yet. May Allah make it easy for you. We haven't made Hajj yet, but the window of opportunity is still open because the ease of al-Islam. Allah takes your situation into consideration. The Sunnah. So the people prepared to make Hajj. When they headed out of Medina and they were leaving Medina, the people in the desert who were Muslims, who accepted Islam in their places, who came to Medina or they didn't come to Medina, when they heard the message, Hajj is going to be done this year by the Nabi, they took it seriously. Not like many of the Muslims today. I don't have to do it right now. Although he told the people, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ta'ajjilu bil hajj, hurry up and make Hajj, because one of you doesn't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow. Some people procrastinated to make Hajj, and then COVID came, and then they were prevented from making Hajj. They had the money, they were ready to go, and then they died during COVID. They died after COVID, and they make Hajj. Another hadith, hurry up and make Hajj. For verily I see that there is a bow-legged man from Ethiopia who's going to come and he's going to dismantle and destroy the Kaaba one day. So hurry up and make Hajj, because the Kaaba is not going to always be there. When they started traveling, the people from all angles started meeting up with the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, until the point over 100,000 companions were traveling to Mecca to perform Hajj. That's a lot of people for that time. What, 100,000? It shows how Islam spread, and it showed how the companions had hirs. They wanted to make Hajj, especially with him. They didn't procrastinate. They wanted to make Hajj. So they met up with the Nabi and they traveled together, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said to them, خُذُوا عَنِّي مَنَاسِكَكُمْ فَإِنِّي لَسْتُ أَدْرِي هَلْ أَرَاكُمْ بَعْدَهَا عَامِي هَذَا. He told those people, learn from me and take from me the rites of Hajj. If you want to know how to do Hajj, look at me. Don't do your own Hajj as the Muslims do. The Muslims do their own thing. They go here when they want. They go there when they want. They do all kinds of things that have not been legislated. If they just stuck to the Sunnah, they'll be okay. That statement of his is similar to his prayer when he made it on the minbar and everybody was watching him. And he said, pray the way you just saw me praying. Don't pray according to your way. Go back and pray, you didn't pray. Go back and make Hajj, you didn't make Hajj. خُذُوا عَنِّي مَنَاسِكَكُمْ. I don't know if I'm going to see you after this year. This is important historically, Ummatul Islam. Ramadan was 3 months before Dhul Hijjah. 3 months. Right now and during the Prophet's time, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Jibril came to him in Ramadan 2 times every night. He went over the Quran with him twice every night. He told his daughter Fatima about that. She said, why do you think he did that? He said, I think I'm going to die soon. So he knew he was going to die. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. 3 months ago, he knew that. Now for the Hajj, he took with him from Medina 100 camels. He took for himself. Abu Bakr took some, Umar took some, Uthman took some, he took 100 camels. When he got to Hajj, on the day of the Eid for us, Yawm al-Nahr, he slaughtered 63 camels from those 100 and left the other 37 for Ali ibn Abi Talib to slaughter. Why 63? He knew he's going to die. He's 63 years old. He knew he was going to die. So he told the people, I don't know if I'm going to see you after this year. So the companions, they were harisin. They wanted to see. They wanted to follow. They wanted to learn. They wanted to know. They wanted to be with him. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So the pilgrims, when they got to Mecca, as you'll do, inshallah, and as some of you have done, the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went to the Kaaba and he made a dua. The companions did different things. Now is the time for that. But the Sunnah, I want to ask you, Ummatul Islam, where is it mentioned in the Quran about the black stone? Where is that mentioned, Yunus, in the Quran? Anything about the black stone? But you'll find the one who claims, I only take the Quran and not the Sunnah, if and when he goes there, he's in line trying to kiss the black stone. Why are you kissing the black stone? Where is that in the Sunnah? The Prophet said about the black stone in the Sunnah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the black stone was whiter than the driven snow, and it came from the Jannah. But the people who touched it the right way, the black stone became white because it takes your sins off. Umar radiallahu anhu, he performed Hajj. He looked at the black stone and he said, I know that you are just a rock. You are just a stone. I'm not here to worship you. He said, you can't help me and you can't harm me. But because I saw the Prophet kissing you, I'm going to kiss you. That's our religion. We don't worship rocks. We don't worship people in the grave. We don't do stuff like that. Some of us who are going to slaughter, when we go and we slaughter, لَن يَنَالَ اللَّهَ لَحُومُهَا وَلَا دِمَاؤُهَا وَلَكِنْ يَنَالُهُ التَّقْوَى مِنْكُمْ. When you slaughter, the blood comes out of that animal, the blood of the animal, the meat of that, it doesn't go up to Allah. Hasha lillah. That doesn't go up to Allah. That's a sign of your obedience. The fact that you that animal is a rams. It's a sign. It's not the goal objective. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam went around the Kaaba with his right arm exposed. Don't have time to explain that. The wisdom behind that. Went around the Kaaba and his left arm was towards the Kaaba and he was going counterclockwise. Now we know in our religion, everything good is on the right. He would tell the people, al-ayman, al-ayman, start from the right, serve the food from the right, shake hands with the right, give with the right, take with the right, eat with the right, drink with the right, come into the masjid with your right. The right, the right, the right. The people on the right side of this row, this is the best day to be on the right side of the row. Why not the left? No, the right is better. And the right of the second row is better. And the right of the third row is better. The right, the right, the right. You want your deeds, your book of deeds to be given to you Yawm al-Qiyamah in your right hand. Why did he go counterclockwise? Why? Allah knows best. But that shows 2 points. It shows, number one, the Sunnah. Where is it in the Quran? What ayat tells us to go around the Kaaba at all? And what ayat of the Quran says to go around the Kaaba counterclockwise? Number two, can you imagine with 1 million people at Hajj right now? 2 million people sometimes? Can you imagine? 500,000 say, we're going to go to the right this time. We're not going that way. We're going to do our own thing because they are proofs of the good of the right. Can you imagine if the community started doing that? What would happen at Hajj? Can you imagine the confusion? And that's what happens, Ummatul Islam. That's what happens. When we choose not to follow the Sunnah, we have confusion in our lives and we have confusion as an Ummah. We don't know what to do or how to do it. We're going to already have differences of opinions because that's just the nature of Bani Adam. But when we hold on to that book, when we hold on to the authentic Sunnah, we face the same Qibla, we're behind one Imam, it helps to cool out and to calm down the unnecessary ikhtilaf. The Sunnah, the Sunnah, the Sunnah the better, the Sunnah, the Sunnah. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, after that, he would pray at the maqam of Ibrahim 2 rak'ah. Where is that in the Quran? You won't be able to perform Hajj or Umrah without the Sunnah, man. It's not going to happen by the Lord of the Kaaba. Just like praying, you won't be able to pray without the Sunnah. You won't be able to give zakat without the Sunnah. You won't be able to fast the correct fast without the Sunnah. You are not a real Muslim, ya amatallah, without the Sunnah. You're not a real Muslim. You are a fake Muslim. You are a flimsy, funny Muslim. You're funny. Something's wrong with you. So now it's our responsibility, Abdul Ghani. It's our job to learn the Sunnah. How are you going to practice Islam if you don't know what you're doing? The Nabi would pray, come back to the Kaaba, put his chest on the Kaaba by the door, and he would make dua. And he told the people, this is a place in the time where the dua is accepted, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he went from there to the Zamzam water, and he drank standing up so the people could see him. He drank so the people could see him, to show the people it's permissible to drink standing up, but it's better to drink sitting down. And he drank the Zamzam. And he said to the people, Ma'u Zamzam lima shuriba lahu. The water of Zamzam is for whatever you drink it for. You drink it for arthritis, it'll help you, inshallah. You drink it for patience, it'll help you, inshallah. You drink it for whatever you have, it'll help you, inshallah. It's from those things. Where is Zamzam water mentioned at all in the Quran? Where is it mentioned in which ayat of the Quran? Just bring one ayat where it clearly says Zamzam water. But then you'll find that individual who claims, just give me the Quran and I don't need the Sunnah. He's lugging Zamzam home. He's making dua from Zamzam water. Why? Because he's being philosophical, mutafalsif. He knows that you can't practice Islam without the Sunnah. You're lying, man. You're playing around. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam walked to the mountain of Safa. And he said, Nabda'u bima bada Allahu bihi. We're going to start with the mountain that Allah started with in the Quran. Inna as-Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. فمن حج البيت أو اعتمر فلا جناح عليه أن يطوف بهما. The mountain of Safa and the mountain of Marwa, they're from the symbols of Allah. So anyone who makes Hajj or Umrah, there's no harm for him to make the sa'i between the two. That's something the Kuffar Quraysh used to do. So the Muslims said, hey, Quraysh used to do that. We shouldn't do it. And then this ayat came down. So the ayat is mentioned in the Quran. But what did the Prophet do on Safa and Marwa? Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He made a series of dua. He faced the Kaaba and he did certain things and says, where are those things in the Quran? Listen. After he came down off of Safa, he ran. And the companion said he ran so hard that his ihram came up. His ihram came up and you could see the back of his legs back here. That's how hard he ran. For the one who can do that, if it's possible, that's from the Sunnah. Someone would sit there and say, the black stone is from paradise. Come on, man. Where you get that from? What? I'm going to run over there in that desert. Why I got to run? Why I have to run? You're a fake Muslim. Don't do that to us with the Sunnah. When it comes to your head like that, it doesn't make sense to me. So therefore, I'm not going to do it. And why did he run? And this is important. He ran because Hajar, the mother of Ismail, the story of Ibrahim leaving Hajar, his right-hand possession, and not his wife. Muslims are embarrassed to say right-hand possession, Hajar, or Maria, the Coptic, radiyallahu anhuma. They were the mothers of tremendous personalities in Islam. Don't be afraid or apologetic about the Sunnah. Why are you apologetic about anything of the Sunnah? Anything of the Sunnah. The lady was the one who did the running, because when she was on the mountain of Safa, she was looking for the water and she could see her son. When she came off of the mountain, there was an area she couldn't see her son on the way to Marwa. So she ran in that area, clearly indicating the position of the woman in Islam. The woman is not a piece of furniture in Islam just to make babies and to cook and to clean. No, she has a role to play in the community. She has an important, integral role to play. So it's our job, our responsibility to be patient with them when they be bugging and they be tripping. It's our job, our responsibility. And also it's our job and responsibility to do our best to honor these women, to honor these women, to honor your mother who gave birth to you. And all that running that Hajj did for her son Ismail, our mothers made similar sacrifices. Our mothers made similar sacrifices. I say that having husn al-dhan for the people, but I can talk for myself with yaqeen, the sacrifices of my mother. How can I come now and disrespect my mom, Dukes? Where is the story of Hajar and Ismail in the Quran? Where is that story? Where is that story? I'm only going to take the Quran and I'm not going to take the Sunnah. I say, La ya akhi, that's kalamun farigh, that's kalam fadi, that's not real. You're a fake Muslim if you try to practice Islam like that. And I say from this member that in no shape, form, or fashion, and I'm saying that the Quran and the Sunnah are equal. I'm not saying that. The Prophet mentioned, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, ala inni utitul Quran wa mithluhu ma'ahu. I was given the Quran and what is similar to the Quran, meaning the Sunnah of the Nabi. وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. He does not talk based upon his own desires, but when he speaks, he's speaking from revelation. Jibreel used to come to the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the Sunnah, just as he came to him explaining the Quran to him. So the Rasul of Islam, he came, and it's his job, his function, his duty, his obligation to explain to us this religion. So I see a new revert in here, Qadim, other reverts, but he's a brand spanking revert from Ramadan. Brand spanking, my man. If you want to be worth your weight in salt, then glorify the Sunnah and learn the Sunnah. And don't be one of those people who says, it's just the Sunnah. The Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is similar to the boat or the ark of Noah. The Safina of Noah. Anybody who rides it, he'll be saved from the deluge and the flood of all the fitan and all these mashakil that's going on. You forsake and abandon the Sunnah the way Noah's son used his brain. Noah's son, his father, is a Rasul telling him, hey boy, come get on the boat. Come get on the boat. He said, nah, Abi. I'm going to go to a high mountain and that's going to save me. Nothing's saving you from today. Don't use your head like that. Don't use your intellect. Don't allow your intellect to clash with the Sunnah of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Don't do it. From the great scholars of Islam is Abdullah ibn Abbas, the companion. He stayed in Mecca. He taught people in Mecca. He was in Mecca. Some people from Iraq came to him and they were using their brains. When you're in Ihram, you can't hunt. When you're in Ihram, you can't marry and you can't marry someone off. When you're in Ihram, there are things that you shouldn't do in Ihram because you're in a state that's special. They said, Abdullah ibn Abbas, if one of us were to kill a mosquito, if the mosquito landed on us and we killed him and the blood come out, do we have to pay the fidya? Do we have to slaughter for a mistake? He said, where are you people from? They said, we're from Iraq. He said, you're from Iraq. That's the place where the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's head was cut off. You cut the head off of Hussein ibn Ali. You cut his head off. You just didn't kill a man. You cut his head off. Although the Sunnah said He is a rayhan of the Nabi in the Jannah. Although the Sunnah said him and his brother Sayyida Shabab al-Jannah, they will be the leaders of the young people in al-Jannah. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to love that man. That man used to love that boy. Loved him. And you cut his head off and you're asking me about a mosquito? A mosquito? Using your brain. And then those same people ask him a question. Well, when it comes to Hajj, we're about to make Hajj. What's the best Hajj? 3 types of Hajj. Now is the time to get in that. But the best Hajj is a tamattu, where you make Umrah and you come out of your Ihram. And then you make the Hajj. All you can do is the same day, stay in your Ihram. But the thing is, Umrah and Hajj. Usually you come out. That's why it's called a tamattu, so you can enjoy the life. What's the best Hajj? He said a tamattu. That's what the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The people said, but Abu Bakr doesn't say that, and Umar. Abu Bakr and Umar, they didn't say that. He said, I told you Rasulullah said something, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you tell me Abu Bakr and Umar? And he started getting up and he started wiping himself off. And he said, I'm getting out of here because I'm afraid that rocks will come from the sky and Allah will destroy you people. I tell you, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did roughly a day. And you tell me, Al-Imam Abu Hanifa al-Ras wal-Ayn, all day long. My eyes for Imam Abu Hanifa. I tell you that the Nabi of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, all of the prophets and the messengers held their left hands with their right hands in prayer. And you say, Al-Imam Malik said, don't push the Sunnah away with your intellect. And don't allow anyone to be above the Nabi of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى أكون أحب إليه من والده وولده والناس أجمعين. None of you truly believes until I become more beloved to you than your father, than your children, and all of the people. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for thabat and for as-sadat. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا وطيبا مباركا فيه وصلوات الله وسلامه على نبينا الأمين الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. After this, my brothers and sisters, we inshallah after 2 days are going to go to Mosque Park and we're going to celebrate the Eid of Al-Adha. This masjid, Masjid al-Nur and Masjid al-Ihsan collectively, like the Eid al-Fitr, and anybody else who wants to come. 9:30, we're going to meet there and we're going to pray bi-idhnillah. We heard that there may be rain. We heard that. But you know how Florida is. They say it may be rain, it rain, won't rain. We don't know. As it stands right now, this Sunday, inshallah, the Eid Salat will be in that park. There are no festivities after that. We make the Salat and people go and do what you want to do. You want to stay in the park, you stay in the park. You want to leave, slaughter, you slaughter. But you have the right, if you want to slaughter, you have 3 days to slaughter. The day of the Eid, the next day, or the next day. And those are the 3 days of Eid in Al-Islam. And they are the days of drinking and eating. The Prophet said, Yawmu Eid, Yawm Aklin wa Shurb. It is the day of eating and drinking and being happy. The Prophet was lying down on the day of the Eid, and 2 young girls was in his house while he was resting with his face to the wall. And they were the age of Aisha, and she was young. She was young. She was young. Yeah, but how can she be so young anymore? Nah, I can't get my head around it. That's pedophile. Yeah, he don't use your brain like that when it comes to the Sunnah. Who in here in his right mind, if the Nabi wanted to marry your daughter, that you would have any problem with that? At whatever age. No, but the Westerners don't look like that. He came into the house and the girls were singing. Abu Bakr made inkar. He said, are the mazamir of a shaitan in the house of the Nabi, the flutes of shaitan? Because they were singing. Are the flutes, they didn't have any music. They were just singing. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam turned around and said, Da'hum ya Abu Bakr, inna li kulli qawmin Eid, wa hadha yawm Eidina. Leave them, Abu Bakr, to sing. Every people have their celebrations. All people. And this is the day of our celebration. It's a day of relaxing and cooling out and being gentle and soft and easy. So in concluding, Ummatul Islam, some of you come from Africa and the Arab world, Iraq, Morocco, Tunis. You come from Pakistan. You know how the Eid was back then. You grow your children up right now, and their Eid loses its luster. Christmas, our children feel it more than their Eid. Eid for our kids, new clothes and toys. Nah, we have to teach our kids the lessons of Eid. And from those lessons, the importance of the Tawheed of Allah. From those lessons, the importance of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From those lessons, the universality of Al-Islam. From those lessons, the ease of Al-Islam. From those lessons, the ni'mah of Al-Islam. That the day of our Eid is a day that has intellect collected to it. No Santa Claus, no reindeers, no bunny rabbits. That have to do with Easter. Jesus, reindeers, bunny rabbits. Well, what that got to do? So inshallah, Sunday, 9:30 is the Eid at Morse Park. If it rains, keep your ears open, keep your eyes peeled. You'll hear from the masjid. You just pray in your local masjid if it rains, but you'll get the announcement from us. May Allah Ta'ala make it a blessed Eid for us and you. And may Allah Azza wa Jal accept our juhud that we put forth during these days. And may He have mercy and forgiveness for us for our israf and our taqseer. And may Allah divinely protect our babies and our women and our mothers. And may He help us to continue to honor our mothers, even those who are dead. So if your mother has died, slaughter for the sake of Allah and for the reward to go to your moms, inshallah ta'ala. أقم الصلاة يرحمكم الله.